devotee. And we begin with Vandana. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saha Gana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitangscha Om Jnanatimarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurataje Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. All right, dear ones, 1 second and I'll just get our back to basics on Facebook here. So if I have good fortune, I'll be able to see who's with us. All right, so all of the devotees here on Zoom, on back to basics in the recorded version, happily being with you all, seeing your names, seeing your forms, and we hope to hear from you too, because hearing is the very process by which we can see. So we all know you have beautiful hearts, so let's hear something from the hearts of the devotees too. And so yes, lots of devotees with us already, happily on Facebook and on Zoom. How can I be of service? Sri Lekha's opened her microphone. She's ready. She's ready at the starting post. Oh, she's closed her microphone. She's hesitating. No, nothing is by accident, Sri Lekha. Anyhow, what can I say? We can say lots of things. We've been with the public. And so some of you live with the public around you. When you live in a temple, generally we have a little bubble around us to save us from the public. But actually we are meant to be, we did something there. Actually, we're meant to be with the public in Mahaprabhu's mission. Really, as much as possible means it as much as possible. Okay, that means 100% absorption in the association of those who are averse to Krishna. However, we need to be in a careful way with the public in order to present Krishna consciousness. And it is a shame when really people accept all the questions in it until it comes to God, the personality, accepting him, you're for him, chant his holy name, which is in basically everyone's religion, is to chant the name of the Lord. If you list every major religion of the world, then there's that sincere section who have the rosary and who chant the name of God. And so even we try to slip in a little bit, yes, I'm chanting the names of the Lord. It's good for you to also do that. And if you don't know any names of the Lord, the loving Lord, if you don't know any names, ask. There are those who know. But somehow or another, we can say in one sense, justified suspicion. Or it's suspicion. But justified or not, that comes to another element. But in one sense, there is so much cheating going on in the world. that why should they listen to us, in the sense of there are so many people who are presenting, God in whatever form, and in some very insubstantial, well, very insubstantial ways. But suspicion only should go a certain distance. And I know for myself, it was hearing Srila Prabhupada's words, okay, through his books, but that's his words. And hearing his words and hearing his message from such a pure source, it made a difference. But still, I sometimes think, if it was actually 10 years earlier that I'd read Srila Prabhupada's words, would I have been accepting as I was 10 years later? And so we have to also have some acceptance of that. It's not necessarily because the pennies dropped for us at some stage or another, at least to some extent. The pennies dropped for us to see that it's all very valuable, it is truthful, and that there are those true saints who have come to give us in the modern age, and not just thousands of years ago or hundreds of years ago, that have come to give us the direction of the best prospect of life. So then we, from our lifetime, which is coming from the world to the other world, or to the journey to the other world, then we can relate, I suppose, if we think back, why people don't listen. Still, when we did come to Krishna consciousness, as it were, then bit by bit, I got a little remembrance of how I had brushed, crossed paths with the devotees once, twice, 3, 4 times perhaps in the past, in one way or another. And I didn't know who they were or what they were doing. And in fact, but we may not have had the best impression. But still, I remember helping a devotee, by the way, unknowingly, because I was in one city, and in a mini car, this is in England, one of those mini van things with a very small car, but with the back was like a van. Then these 2 people in a car were in a car, sort of looking a little bit lost, and they wound down the window and they asked me, are there any shops around where they could possibly sell incense to? Well, I wasn't sure if they were talking about incense or not, these people. So I couldn't really help them very much. But at least I was polite with them. And I never thought about it again, because people ask you lots of things in the material world. And we let them continue with their various trade. But especially when you're younger, So anyway, we'd cross paths with them once or twice. So at least if we'll cross paths with them, or if we, as them, if others cross our paths, at least we should be polite with them and somehow engage them. So anyway, just as a starter. So from the public to the temple, and it's always a relief to be in the temple. And devotees know that. Birds of a feather flock together. And I saw a sign on a building, by the way, and I don't know what it was about, but it's a big sign, said, birds of a feather work together. So it was some commercial building. And it was probably, I don't know. I mean, okay, I won't speculate. But you know how you have specialist buildings for this, that, and the other. And even in Thailand, in Bangkok, there's a place called Chongqing Mansion, which is the specialist building for everything from India, the Indian building. Maestri is nodding her head. Maybe you know Chongqing Mansion. It's quite a different world than the rest of Bangkok. You go in there and birds of a feather work together. they're working together in there quite merrily. All right. Now, Sri Lekha Devi Dasi, it wasn't an accident that you turned on your microphone.
Turned it, I don't know. I'm not very, Maharaj Dandavad to everyone. Really happy to see your beautifulness faces.
Beautifulness.
Beautifulness. I turned it on because I'm not very technological, and I thought I couldn't hear because of that. Turned it off. Anyway.
We are Jnana Shunya Bhaktas. We don't look for the reason.
Good thing. Maharaj, what should I say?
How to break the ice with a person who's a little icy. In Krishna consciousness, of course.
Do you mean like somebody who's come to the temple? And they're kind of like,
we are outreaching, and people were being introduced to people. We're talking with them. They're their friends, so they want us to do good for them. But there's resistance, there's suspicion, and if you say something, oh, but I don't believe this. Just to break that hard cover of the Western thinking. I'm thinking of the Western thinking. India, we have a little bit more of an idea, and also in India, we don't have to start with you're going to be born again. Do you believe in God? And I mean, there's lots of things in India which we just, as we say, nobody ever asked me in all that time, do you believe in karma? And what else came to me when I was in the West? Oh, do you believe in karma? Do you believe in reincarnation? Oh, you believe in reincarnation. I mean, in the West, many don't believe in reincarnation. Even people who see others dying. One man, he said, I'm not religious, but this person, someone had been in an accident, but he said, I was holding them, trying to give some comfort. He said, I'm not religious, but I felt as he left his body. But it's kind of a contradiction because, okay, maybe you don't believe in God, but then you must consider, well, where did he go if he left?
Yeah. Well, Maharaj, since you're asking me, I don't know if I usually try to just ask them to say what they want to say. Like, or I don't really believe in reincarnation. Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, this is something a little bit new idea in the West. Have you ever heard about that before? Or what are your opinions about death? Or just to get the person to speak a little bit. I mean, if they're feeling like angry and like, I guess you have to judge accordingly, but then the conversation can start. And I think it's really disarming to give. I mean, this is it's just my experience. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like to give everyone a chance to speak, it's very disarming. You get, then you can kind of discuss things. They may have like an opinion, or I believe in this and I believe in that. And they're like, oh yeah, where did you hear about that? Or yeah, I know I've read up about that a little bit myself. And then suddenly there'll become a connection point where the two things connect, the two conceptions connect, what they're saying and what you're saying, or what you want to begin with. And yeah, we have a little bit different point of view, just like this and that and that. But I think that it's disarming for people to just be able to say something about their own past, because they don't know anything mostly. I mean, and then you get a chance to kind of connect on some point. I don't know if that's helpful, but it depends on the mood, because sometimes people are just like, I don't like this. This is, you know, you're like, okay, well, nice that you came and nice to see you. Do you live here? How are you doing? This and that and that. And then something, some connection can come there. I don't know. That's kind of how I will tend to talk to somebody who's has no experience before. Or if they've come to a program and say, have you ever heard of Bhakti Yoga before? Yeah, it's something like Buddhism, right? Yeah, it's something like Buddhism, a little bit different. Anyway, that's kind of how I like to do it.
By the way, a long time ago, in the Tyagi Maharaj era, as it were, I mean, with Tyagi Maharaj, I remember we looked up Bhakti Yoga in Google, you know, on the internet. So I'm not encouraging anyone to go to look up Bhakti Yoga, because the nonsense that was there on when you looked up Bhakti Yoga. So I am not so sure that we should be. I mean, it seems to be that everyone likes this word yoga, but I'm a little doubtful about that too, actually. You know, we want to be as direct as possible, and the Bhakti Yoga part, saying Bhakti Yoga, it has its part to play for trying to at first get the yogi people to come in. Maybe, I'm not sure. Because if then we introduce Bhakti Yoga and they go on the web, they're going to get some strange ideas, and then, oh, we're another group who got some ideas. But we really are not another group that's got some ideas. We're another group who are looking to those who know where everything is going.
Yeah.
And so that's a little tricky. I find that a little tricky. It's just a comment. It's not anything else.
No, I understand. I think it's just, if they say something like, yeah, I heard of Bhakti Yoga, it's this and that and that. I was like, well, it's not exactly really like that. The great teachers of Bhakti Yoga for thousands and thousands of years, you know, they're giving us these principles that yoga is meant to develop love of God, you know, through the practice of this and that, whatever, you know, I always say seeing his hand everywhere and all that. But if you get a chance to define it, and then it's pretty good.
I remember devotees in our former society going on actually sales courses.
Oh.
They went on, they were, I mean, quite practical. They trying to increase the book sales, increase Lakshmi points, etc., etc. And they arranged for the better ones to go on sales talks, sales seminars, and by the way, packaging seminars, and for the cooking department, you know, when they're packaging food, it was quite interesting that, practically speaking, they were trying to gain the knowledge, again, to go to those who are expert in their field, and to gain the knowledge from the previous generations of how to package food. Because I remember we were in the kitchen washing the pots, no doubt at the beginning, and then cutting vegetables, and getting promotion to cutting vegetables from washing the pots. But in the kitchen, then some of the foodstuffs was put into plastic, what's this word, plastic bags. But they went, and how you seal the plastic bags, then the chief of the kitchen, he went just for like a seminar on this. And some of the sealing methods, the seal is stronger than the bag itself, which is also quite interesting. So when you get pre-packaged food, by the way, when you first come to the West, if you've been in a place like India for a while, one of the things is everything's packaged. How do you open this package? You know, it's not that you buy a kilo of rice. The rice is in a sealed plastic bag, and you've got to fight your way into the plastic bag. So some challenges that we don't realize we face. But there are those who are expert in making that seal even stronger than the bag itself. They're having a little laugh while you're trying to, when they sell every kilo of rice in a plastic bag. But it was interesting that they would go on the sales talk so that they would probably get tips like you just said, loosen up the person you're talking to. Then but they have some very nasty, not maybe nasty words, but going in for the kill. Then sooner or later, it's like, maybe they don't call it the kill, but something similar.
Yeah, Maharaj, and I don't really feel like it's diplomacy. I mean, for me, in my own heart, I really can relate to everyone. You know, we just don't know anything till we know it. And I don't feel like it's some like, you know, like a technique or something like that. I don't feel like that. I just feel like it's a little gentle because like you said, there is some reason why they're suspicious and a little bit like, I don't know what's going to go on here. And I think it's just a gentle way to speak to someone so that they do feel, you know, that they're an individual that's respected and we're just talking about something wonderful together. I mean, that's really how I feel. I don't like diplomacy at all. And I think that people will notice that this is some kind of way that they're trying to get me to feel something. And I don't think that's very good at all to do. Just to be sincere and sympathetic. You know, people are coming in out of the cold, like out of the jungle, and they don't know anything and they are a little nervous, like you said. And, you know, that's only yesterday for me. So it's not like, you know, some big shot or something.
So again, to be genuine with what we do. And Srila Prabhupada would say that. I couldn't quote him right now, but I'm saying about the purports. And mostly for the last couple of years, I'm reading the purports in the Chaitanya Charitamrita because we're going through that. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, then definitely there are some purports where Srila Prabhupada is saying that one must themselves practice, then they can tell others. And then he gives some examples about how they are saying but they are killing animals. And then why will anyone listen to them? So we must also be careful, like you basically saying just now, we don't want diplomacy, we want the genuine thing. So if we are genuine ourselves, then we try to share that genuine thing with others. Sincerity, you say, yes. I'll translate genuine into American. Genuine. Oh, but you're Canadian, not American, Sri Lekha.
You don't say genuine.
You're Canadian. They speak English in Canada. They speak Canadian in Canada. Kom Diri, you're from the down south in the United States of America. And I always get upside down which way around, but you are a trifactor, as Goswami Maharaj would say, got the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, and Srila Gurudev. So, Kum Didi, a co-trifactor with Sri Lekha. Let us hear your suggestions and your empowerment to us, some good things to say. So we can better serve Guru and Gauranga. It's Gauranga's teaching to go to the public.
My Dandavat Maharaj and all of the Vaishnavas, what a pleasure to be together, even in this way. And, you know, this is such an important topic because we receive so much mercy, and naturally, whoever we relate to, we want to be able to share that. We can share on different levels with our devotee friends. We can share so intimately. And then when we're just first meeting someone, we still want to give them something, like if we are not hungry ourselves, but we see a starving person, we have plenty of food and water, we want to share that. And the first thing that comes to mind is those topics which appeal to everyone. They pierce through whatever a person's consciousness is. Like Sri Lekha Devi was pointing out, people can be very confused and not even quite know what it is they think or what their questions are. But when I see those signs that the Italian devotees, maybe there are many places, but I see them on Harinam Sankirtan with the big banners that say, in Italian, in the local language, every word is a song, every step is a dance. And who's not going to immediately want to wake up and join with that? I mean, who would not want to be where people are singing rather than just trying to describe something? Automatically, if you're singing, it must be worth saying, it must be beautiful. And the same thing about dancing. There's even a saying, like to try to encourage people, dance like no one is watching. And that is really a reflection of how unnatural many people's lives are. You desire to dance, we know that. If we're happy, we want to dance, but why would we be self-conscious about it? And so when we see the devotees and they are singing and dancing, then this brings us to that how to actually live, how to express ourselves with wholehearted naturalness. And then also when we are getting questions from somebody, when we can remember Srila Prabhupada's words before he came, I find it very, very helpful. He was praying to Krishna just before he disembarked, and he said so many things. That poem is so beautiful. And he said, I see this land is covered in the modes of passion and ignorance. I do not know how I'll be able to save them, but you can make a success or a failure of me as you like. And I'm your puppet. You make me dance as you like. And so in this way, we want to be utilized by Sri Krishna, by Mahaprabhu, by the whole Rupanuga Guru Varga, and just to be utilized by them, unbeknownst to us exactly how it's happening or why we may have the best words. It's our desire, at least.
Very good. Another very good tip. This is why we show a gem or we put something out there, and the gem is we need to spread Krishna consciousness, this gem. Yeah. And then Srila Prabhupada's example. And he hadn't really met many Westerners. I mean, he will have met Westerners in the British time, but not in their own habitat.
Yeah.
And I know in England, from being in India, the impression of England or British people in general was that they're all gentlemen. But if you're in Britain, in some of the cities, you might notice that not everyone's quite a gentleman. With their beer and football songs, maybe they're gentlemen at home, but not so evident on the street. So meeting the Srila Prabhupada, going to meet the Americans in their own abode, as it were, and really see where, well, at the beginning he was with, the middle-class persons, but he was having no success. And then he went to the Bowery, and I mean, this is how it all happened, by Krishna's arrangement. And so really he did meet, maybe you could say, the non-gentleman section of USA quite quickly. And from there, the sincere interest came. And from there, then everybody became drawn in, including the Indians and the Brahmin Indians in due course of time. Lest we forget, it's not that Srila Prabhupada only preached in the Western world. And his going to the West was, in India, it's so unsuccessful, but they're looking to the West. If we can capture the Westerners, the Indians will pay attention. And that has happened, by the way. Beautiful, wonderful temples in India. And everybody knows, Hare Krishna. And it's Srila Prabhupada who's brought this back to India with some note, people taking note because of the Westerners. So that subtle thing is still there from the Indian side, looking to the West, as we know. And Srila Prabhupada on the Jaladuta, so you're mentioning like before he came, he's on the ship. He had 2 heart attacks on the ship. And he had, was it $8 in his pocket in cash? something like that, $8 he had in his pocket, got off the ship in winter in on the East Coast in Boston, New York, in the winter, an Indian man with dhoti kurta, and I saw he had a big overcoat, some big overcoat. But on the ship before he landed, looking forward, how will I soften up the Americans? How will I be able to get this message across? So to be an instrument in the hand of the Lord. Hare Krishna. Would anyone like to volunteer something that you're thinking, while we're talking, you're thinking, oh, but I'm successful when I break the ice with this comment or that comment. Has anybody got something they'd like to say?
Oh, Maharaj, I can say it's very an honor.
Please,
But
please do so. Yes.
actually, I've missed
A speaking flower.
I've missed the beginning of your talk, but I guess it's how to attract newcomer people and what to tell them, like this.
Yes, yes.
Actually, as Sri Lekha Devi said, sometimes in Lakta I saw like our brahmacharis, they talk to people like for a long time. And Prithvi Prabhu is here. I think he got some experience. Oh no, but anyway. And then I asked like them, what we were talking about for so long. And sometimes they say, we were just listening about people's life and they're talking. And on the one hand, you think, it's like psychologist's job or something. But then you see that people who would not be attracted in some other cases, they just come over again and again just because you are listening to them and maybe from time to time give some spiritual advice. Not sure. But at least, of course, they help and they take some prasadam. And one person, he said, here in the temple, I feel that I'm not going to be cheated. No one who wants to like take some money from you or some gain. So I was amazed actually, like the atmosphere itself was different from the world that he knows. So that was his attraction. That's it.
Beautiful. And it is true. Everywhere you go, there is some ulterior motive. And really, the ulterior motive of the devotees is to do good, for genuine good for others. And Srila Guru Maharaj said, when he was collecting, because he collected, he went out to canvass for get funds for the Madras temple we know about quite famously, because he had some particular stories he told that while engaged in that fund collecting for the temple. But Guru Maharaj said, I didn't go out as some of our team may go out, and I didn't go out like a gunda, like a dacoit, to go out to beat somebody and over the head, take their money and run. I went out so that they will donate voluntarily. They will know what they're giving for. They will want to give, and they will give their funds like that. And so Guru Maharaj, he wanted that the people will be donating from the heart. There are different ways to do everything. Bhagavad Gita has got the eating in the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, working in the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, and giving donations in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. And of course, there's always above the modes of nature, which is when it's in connection with the genuine Vaishnavas and genuine Krishna consciousness. So the temple, not for cheating. And also my impression of the temple, first going to the temple, which was Soho Street Temple in London, which I'm sometimes tempted to go back into, sneak back in, unrecognized, because it was my first temple. I've been to temples before. I've been to India before. I've been to maybe hundreds of temples, and with guided tours of temples, maybe not 100, maybe 83. I mean, we've been to lots of temples before, in one way or another, but going to a temple after reading Srila Prabhupada's books, and a temple which is, if you want to say it, a Hare Krishna temple. And going to such a temple, for me, it was actually very inspiring. And in my little bubble, I'm thinking that they're all seeing Krishna in the deity. And they're chanting and dancing in ecstasy, Krishna Prema. So it was very wonderful actually to go to the temple. And the first time I had prasadam, and they give a meal, then I remember, only because of reading Srila Prabhupada's books, and we should put in more energy than we take. And I remember putting a donation in the donation box at the door, and I saw some brahmachari looking very, I'm putting a donation. I did wonder why they're looking like that. But I just thought, why should I take from these people? I should be giving something. Opposite of cheating is Krishna consciousness. Not giving something temporarily. A doctor should not just give painkiller. Shouldn't be a temporary relief. The doctor should, okay, some painkiller for the immediate problem, but it needs to go to the problem. Cure the cause, not just gloss over the effect. And so this is genuine opposite of exploitation, is to give something which will take away the whole root of the problems of this world. And then that may be considered, a very big goal. But then that's considered insignificant compared with the jewel and gem of the eternal life of devotion in love to the Lord, which becomes a little bit more and more clear as we go on in our life, that really such a beautiful plane is there. And we're given access to it by our masters, by that connection, by that descending grace. Now you mentioned Prithu Prabhu, but he looks eager to say something. And Prithu Prabhu did ask me, as we mentioned, please don't ask me to say anything. But I'd like to ask Prithu Prabhu to say something, because he's a wise man of the St. Petersburg temple, and he's something of a, what's the word? Like famous in that place, as celebrity, should we say celebrity? And he's been serving steadily for many years now. And he's one that meets the public. He's one who is the communicator. So Prithu, a few words. If you like, you can speak. You don't need to speak in Russian. Your English is well enough. But Priyanana's here if you get stuck on a phrase. Paramananda was here if you get stuck on the phrase. Humbly asking.
Dhanyavad Maharaj, Dhanyavad dear devotees. Maharaj, you always embarrassing me what to do.
Please excuse.
Many people are coming to the temple, and actually here in St. Petersburg, they're mostly they're interested about some another interesting place and about some other culture and what people thinking about. Actually, they're not much maybe interested in spiritual life itself if they're not coming, especially for listen about that. But the ideas can be interested for them, but something can be like make them fear. Many people having same fears that first of all you have to destroy that myth about Krishna consciousness, which they thinking about. One idea that you have to leave everything, shave your head, and go to temple, stay there, and you say no. See, most of people are parishioners. They are coming and going and having their own personal life, and um, somehow they adjust the and fit the spiritual ideas. I mean, absolute ideas in their relative life is one thing. Another, they thinking, oh, I should become vegetarian, I will die soon. You say, no, you see, so many of us for many years are vegetarians and still alive and happy. And you can imagine how old we are, and you will be mistaken. So it is good point to become vegetarian yourself. And more than vegetarian, we have a more clear idea about prasadam of the Lord. That anyhow, either you are vegetarian, that means that you are the friend of the animals and the enemy of the vegetables, right? So, so in this way, you are still killing someone, but it is said in Krishna that everyone is by the nature is the servitor of Krishna, uh, and that in that way that Krishna is vegetarian and he's what comes to his plate is the achieving the purest goal which they can come for to this world. So in this way, this food doesn't have any mm, murder energy, and moreover, it is benefited for everyone. Like Guru Maharaj said, the solution is prasadam. So the prasadam, in Russia we have a proverb that the path to the heart of the male is through his belly, through his stomach. But I can say the path to everyone's heart are going through that area as well. So prasadam is always what is valuable, and it is always delicious. So many people like to start from that point, and it works. Like Srila Prabhupada Bhaktivedanta Swami, he called gulab jamuns to be the bullets of ISKCON, and many other things, many delicious things can be attractive at the first thing. And also, we're having so many social projects. We are having Mahabharata project. We're having some musical projects, so people can be attracted to some of them, and then after be involved in some other more spiritual activities. Like on Saturdays, we're doing festivals and telling people about many, making them opportunity to hear about many other things except Krishna consciousness. But our main goal, them to be on the major lecture about Krishna consciousness and to hear about that. And like we're doing festivals also, uh, thousands of people attracted, and we given to our preachers opportunity to speak to the audience and share the ideas. And we won't be make Krishna conscious everyone in the sense that we are trying to force him to accept Krishna consciousness. We're trying to share the ideas what is valuable for us and what is valuable for me. I think I should share to others, and thus if they like they accept, but mostly people like to hang out, so become friends with them. It is the most wonderful idea about that, how then they can be attracted. And in at another level, like you, Maharaj, uh, you're the saint, so for you it's not the problem to make anyone Krishna conscious. I saw many times by my own eyes, like one devotee Doyal Nita, I think, in America. Before he went to America, he been just just a guy from Ukraine, and you spoke to him only 20 minutes, and in 20 minutes he became Krishna conscious. So after 20 minutes of speaking, so in Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said in many ways, in many shlokas. First shloka is that the Krishna Bhakti is what is like kind of sleeping in the heart of everyone. Second, that the root cause of of awakening of that Krishna Bhakti is sadhu sangha. And third, that famous shloka that even lava matra sadhu sangha, even the smallest part of sadhu sangha, the smallest time of association with sadhu, make one to achieve all the perfection, means Krishna consciousness. So in this way, we are not like you, Maharaj. We are trying our ways, but still we're doing the trying to make this opportunity to be revealed in that way, that we are trying to first become friends with people and then to share ideas. That is. All
Oh,
right,
just
Maharaj.
as well, you are all not like me, Kritu Prabhu. May the Lord have lots of mercy upon you. Hare Krishna. And by that, attracting in a broad way the public to come to the gatherings. And we've seen how many devotees, how many people have been introduced to devotional service throughout the Eastern Bloc countries by this strategy. Those festivals, which all kinds of festivals with many things there to attract the people. But amongst that, then we ourselves are witness to the fact that you can be seated there for a whole day with the pandal for the only Krishna consciousness katha, no other things attached there. That would be steadily full, and even with people staying, one person's talk, then the next person's talk, then the next person's talk. They're sitting there all afternoon, hearing discourses by the different sannyasis, by the ladies, by the men, but all discourses about Krishna consciousness. But they're drawn in by some famous local band, and by this idea of astrology and many different things, the Mahabharata, many different hooks to bring people in. But to bring people in so they can hear what is the conception of Mahaprabhu. Ultimately, it is that. But some, they'll just be happy to be there, and they can't avoid hearing the devotees chanting Hare Krishna. It's called Hari Nam Sankirtan, when the devotees are chanting. So they're getting some sound vibration, and they're meeting with the devotees. And devotees sincerely making a lot of effort to produce those programs. You can't just snap your finger and then suddenly you've got big tents, big programs, all the organization that's gone into it, everything, all the prasadam that is being distributed, all everything, every part, devotees giving their life for that. But when people come, then we should try to give them what Mahaprabhu gave and not stay with the bait. This idea, the bait is to bring in the public, but the bait is for bringing in the public, not for us to start relishing the bait. We must keep our own awareness, what we're doing, why we're doing it, and what is the goal of attracting people to come. And then those who are attracted, there must be some standard somewhere where they will understand, okay, this is the standard. And so they come into the temple, and the Lakshta temple where Prithu Prabhu is, large temple and quite famous now in St. Petersburg, and with a big landmark, the tallest skyscraper in the whole of Russia. Is that right, Prithu Prabhu?
It's the tallest is the highest in the Europe, Maharaj, and they're going to build two more high. one will be the second in the world, and it will be just near to the temple.
And from
So
the airplane, you have a little difficulty to see the temple itself, but when you know where it is in relation to the tall building, when you're flying into St. Petersburg, then actually you can see the temple.
yeah, it's a good, Maharaj, because like in Muslim religion they have some always showing where Mecca is, to where to pray to. So now in St. Petersburg also such a sign exists, where in which side to pray.
And by the way, I was in an airport recently to come here. I was in an airport recently, and I've never done this before, but I went into the room because it says multi-faith prayer room. And I thought, well, I'm within multi-faith. And I went in to the prayer room, and it was very sweet. And it said multi-faith prayer room and quiet room is what it said. And so anyway, I went in there, and it was very gentle and sweet. And there were different people in there, including some like very businessman looking man. And he's sitting there. They had chairs as well as they had a floor, believe it or not. But as well as the floor, they also had chairs. So some people are sitting on the floor, and they show there the direction of Mecca, which is what I was thinking of when you said that. And they have carpets. But in there, you can be anything. And it's a common prayer room. And I've never been in one. Well, I did look in one before, but I didn't have the confidence to claim I was of a multi-faith. This one said quiet room as well. So I thought, okay, multi-faith and quiet room. Oh, I can go in. But I thought it was an interesting concept. But there they had the direction, they had the prayer mats for the Muslims facing Mecca. And I thought, okay. And there you got people and me inside there. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prito Prabhu. How to reach the public. And Agyata Sukriti. Agyata Sukriti is unknowingly they get benefit by taking prasadam, just by having some appreciation of the devotees, having some good feeling they're getting this Agyata Sukriti. Contributing just by their coming to a festival, they're contributing to it. That doesn't mean in money, because actually those festivals, those Veda life festivals, there's no entrance fee. But they do take your detail. You have to show an ID card and detail. And so that way they get added to mailing lists, and one way or another, they're being kept some contact with the devotees. But they're contributing by their presence. For instance, if you make up a whole festival with different things to attract people to come and nobody comes, then it's not a successful festival. So just by participating, by coming to a festival, then they're getting some sukriti, some agyata sukriti, in the sense that they're coming to a Vaishnava gathering. That's for the purpose of propagating Mahaprabhu's message. And so this way, they're all getting something. And in due course, when that becomes sufficient, the bank account, the hidden bank account becomes sufficient, then they come to have more appreciation for the devotees. And we're told that Bhagyavan Jeev, that fortune of the Jiva souls, is their actual connection with the Lord and through the devotees, something that they're doing tangibly or done tangibly to satisfy the devotees of the Lord. So to increase the sukriti, the spiritual bank account of the persons. Am I mistaken, or is Maheshwari keen to share something? I am mistaken. So I'm not mistaken. Are you shaking your head that I'm not mistaken?
Dandavats Maharaj. I don't have much to share. I'm quite exhausted, actually.
Oh dear. Okay. And life gives challenges to everyone. And so let all the Vaishnavas give their good wishes to you, Maheshwari Didi.
Thank you.
To
I
give you
appreciate that. Dandavats, everyone.
Hare Krishna and Dandavats. And this world is not our home. Therefore, we must always keep our eyes looking up. And we, with that, just try to help others who may be around us. I heard some stories in Latvia. Oh, yes, right. I lost it. Anyhow, about one devotee was in hospital, and there were three devotees no, there was one devotee and two other people, so three patients in this ward, and they all needed some heart surgery, and there were some specific in a similar position. They'd had some stroke or whatever it is, heart attack. Anyhow, they all needed something with the heart, but there were not enough ambulances to get them to the other city where the surgery would take place. So an ambulance came, which could only for one person, and then the other two were left behind. So but it came for a particular person. It came for the devotee, and then he said, "I won't go in the ambulance unless you put us all in the ambulance and we go together." And this way, he did not take that, oh, great, my numbers come up, I'm going to go, I'm going to be fine. But so then they had some argument with the people, but not, whatever it is. But it's Latvia, you can break the rules a little bit in Latvia, unlike some countries maybe. And then so they put all three of them in an ambulance for one, and they went together. So I thought that was also an example that, those who are around us, wherever we are, then we should try to do some good for them. And then those other people, they will remember that devotee, that person, and they'll remember, oh yes, the devotees, they're kind people. At least this they will know. Oh, Paramananda Prabhu, you were hiding before. I was going to ask you, please say a few words, but I know that you're busy, and so when your camera was off, I thought you were busy. And now you are with us in an undisclosed location called Thailand, but I'm trying to think quite where you are. Under the blue sky.
It's the market, Maharaj.
Oh, it's the market. Okay. I was going all around Govinda Farm, Govinda Ashram, and I couldn't picture quite where you were. The market. Okay.
Meeting some clients today.
Yep.
But I mean, actually, it's already nicely represented the theme of attracting people. Everybody touched and shared something very valuable. Sri Lekha Devi, Kumkum Didi, Prithu Prabhu. And Prithu touched one of the key, the essence of the attracting people. That's what Srila Gurudev pointed out. When I asked him about preaching, the key to the successful preaching, he said, become their friend and give them prasadam. And that will create an opening. Naturally, it's so logical. When someone is your friend, they're predisposed already to take what you have, what inspires you, what you sincerely believe in. And sometimes we like to separate ourselves from the rest of the humanity. But the reality check is we're still a part of that group. We're still human beings stuck in this world. We just got lucky. That's perhaps the difference that we have with others. So if we view other people just like us, and we remember us before we come in touch with Krishna consciousness, what we've been looking for, then we can understand that the public is looking for the same thing. They want love, they want affection, they want kindness, they want a goal of their life. That's what they're lacking. And that is what attractive when they meet people who have that goal, who have the faith, who have the sincerity, who are happy, who are determined. All those qualities are very attractive to people. And like Prithhu just mentioned, that he needed to convince, well, explain people that Hare Krishnas are not scary. But I do have a question to the August Assembly here. Am I mistaking that Krishna is all attractive? Is he? It's a question.
We're all shaking
believe.
our heads. You're not mistaken.
Presumably, he is all attractive. And we're the followers of Krishna. What is the difficulty then? I mean, lack of security, like we figured out. So Bhagavan, you have to be the Bhagavanji. That's understandable. But then again, Krishna can overrule absolutely everything. So I guess what is lacking, and I'm speaking about myself, is the faith that Krishna is all attractive. And he can do absolutely everything. And the lack of surrender to him. And I had personal experience numerous times during my preaching activities. When you try so hard and you try to be diplomatic, you try to outright trick people, not cheat. We're not cheating. We're actually giving something substantial, but we're tricking them into getting that substance. So we try to trick people. Really, it felt bad and it backfired so many times. Till one day I assembled, at that time I was appointed as the Sankirtan leader, so-called Sankirtan leader, the leader of the book distributors. So I assembled all the people. I said, let's just try and tell people about Krishna. Just straightforward. Don't tell them absolutely anything. Just tell them Krishna is the God and we're his loving servants. And he loves us back. Something along those lines. Just give it a shot. Everybody was against it for a short while, but then we agreed for about a month or two, we'll just give it a shot, we'll try. And the results are increasing. And we felt much better. And really, that's how we would start our preaching. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and all of you are his children, and he loves you. That's the opening speech. And sometimes it was the only words we would say. But depending on how much surrender and faith we have, as a result, a certain quantity of people will reciprocate. It always works, really it works. And it may be a bold thing to say, but perhaps out of all who assemble here, I'm mixing with the environment more due to my engagements. I do meet a lot of people from different backgrounds, but really that's just my job to do. And people are ready to just the little mercy that Agyata Sukriti Maharaj was saying. And Agyata Sukriti will come with positive association with the devotees on any level whatsoever. You can just be there for somebody and listen to what they have to say. And that person will have a good feeling towards you. But you happen to be a devotee of Krishna. Here you go. The Agyata Sukriti is deposited. And you may have still a conversation towards spiritual life. You can even have a chance to speak about Krishna, about the soul, about the prospects. That will give even more Agyata Sukriti to one who listens. They don't have to agree, but they can just respectfully listen to that and think about it. Because somehow we actually expect the results immediately. We want, okay, we're going to talk to this person. In about a month, I want him to be shaped up and, wearing a saffron brahmachari dress in the temple. No, it may not happen. It may not happen this life, but they see the sown. It may happen next life, or 5 lives from now, or 10 lives, or 100 lives. And that is actually a substantial result, because we should stop thinking about the time and space when we talk about Krishna consciousness. It's beyond that. So that connection is so substantial that even a tiny seed, people will carry life after life after life, increasing their accumulation of Sukriti. And one day, they become a Bhagavanji, truly a Bhagavanji, and they will have a substantial connection with the agent of the Lord. And one last thing I can say, it's very good for everyone, every devotee, to go out and try to reach out to people. But like everybody pointed out, Sri Lekha Devi wonderfully explained it, be genuine, non-invasive, kind, loving, and affectionate. Everyone, even dogs, cats, birds, and other animals are attracted to that. What to speak of humans? Of course, everybody will be attracted. And there are so many wonderful examples. And yes, Prithvi, you're right, Maharaj is one of them. And we had another devotees that I have a personal experience with. They were just walking. I can tell everyone, it's Ashram Maharaj. While I was busy at the shop, he was walking in the shopping mall. The next day, people came from different shops. They figured out that he's somehow connected to our shop. And they just wanted to know, who is that person? I was like, why? What did he do? I said, no, we just saw him and we just couldn't stop thinking of him. He had this, aura around him. We just wanted to know more about who he is, what does he represent. And really that happens. Govinda Maharaj, big time. Every one of you had some connection with Govinda Maharaj. Witness that transformation he can cause in the hearts of people, just being around them. And Madhusudan Maharaj, Sri Lekha Devi, and Kumkumdini, and so many of you, everyone is capable of that. When you let Krishna dance in your heart, then you become all attractive because he's there. I guess that's all I have to say. Sorry for the background music. They're also trying to dance and sing, but the vibe is different here.
Actually, Zoom is very good. There's no music at all. We can just hear the sun. There's some Maya trying to peep in, but Zoom is very efficient to keep the Maya out and only the Harikatha in. We have something to learn from Zoom, no doubt. And by the way, we've been listening, and now also, I was thinking about some of our recent public programs. Now I think the next public program will start out with your phrase. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and what was...
We're his loving children, and he loves us best.
We are his loving children, and he loves us best. Okay. So we invite you to our next public program, which is today. I'll let you know how we get on. By the way...
The trick, Maharaj, you have to really believe in what you're saying. It's not always happening.
Well, we do believe it, but now believing in the Vaishnavas, then we shall remember you as we are saying this verse too. The added bonus. Now, in the meantime, I've been a little inattentive to see the chat box, but Seva Rupa Devi Dasi has been busy as always, and she's put in Srila Prabhupada's prayer that he wrote on the Jaladuta ship before he arrived in America. So that prayer is there. And I expect this is on the Veda base or somewhere. And from Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrita, then about the ISKCON bullets, the Golobjamans. Oh my goodness. And then Muktinath Prabhu giving a comment, Prita Prabhu Brahmachari is friend of all living beings. Yeah. And by the way, interesting mention that you said, oh yes, we become the friend of the animals, but the enemy of the vegetables. So the vegetables, we must be their friend too, and give them to Krishna. But the idea of, oh yeah, we're friend of the animals, but enemy of the vegetables. Interesting point. And Amarinda has also been busy. He's found on Veda basis. Srila Prabhupada says, Krishna means all attractive. All right, dear devotees, all attractive devotees, because you're all connected with Krishna. Sorry, someone's forced a big picture on my screen. Okay, now back into a little picture on my screen. To all the devotees with us, so many of you, who every one of you can chip in something on these subjects and on the Krishna Katha subjects. And We are happy to hear from those who are able to chip in this week. And I know that all of you have got something you can say, and you've got things in your mind. Yes, this. Maybe next time we can share some more. We can give 5, if we give 5-minute slots, how many 5 minutes in 1 hour? 12. 12 times 5 equals 60. Okay, let's see whether we can have maybe some little idea on this theme. Next time we can say, okay, 5-minute slot to Bhima Krishna, Prabhu, to Amarinda, to Kamala, everybody. Indu Lekha can give Ashapurna, Dana. We need to hear from Dana and from Lynn. By the way, today also Ganga Leela, I was reminded of the Italians, because the Italians, even if you don't know what they're talking about, they're giving expressions. And Ganga Leela Devi has been putting these expression icons at different parts, oh and happy and things like this. So she's been very Italian, expressing some feedback from the devotees today. She has put another icon there now. All right. So dear devotees, for each of you and those that we've not mentioned, the Harini, Seva Rupa, and Mayashri we mentioned, and those we've not mentioned who are with us also, Madhava Prabhu, yes, by hook or by crook, remembering this, Srila Prabhupada, try to do something for the devotees, by hook or by crook, give them a book, is what we heard Srila Prabhupada saying. All right, so to all the good devotees here on Zoom, on Facebook, and in the recorded version, our appreciation and obeisances to you all. And as you know, our big jais to our grand masters, without whom we really would be helpless in this world. Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rockok Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. And Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. And our Sri Rupanuga Guru Bhaga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees, as Gurudev would say, Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo.
Jai Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Maharaj Ki Jai.
No, the jais go to Kumkum Devi Dasi and Sri Lekha Devi Dasi, our senior most devotees here, to Paramananpu, to each of you, to Pritu Prabhu, the friend of all the devotees, all living entities indeed. And to each of you participating happily here with us all. Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari. Amra Ashchi. You may stay, but I shall continue my day. You may stay, but I shall continue my day. A little bit of poetry first thing in the morning. Hare Krishna.